Buongiorno and greetings from New York. Francesco has written to me and asked me to do a 4 or 5 minute video which explains to you, a group of 200 or more journalists, the nature of what we call MoJo, or what I call video journalism. So I'm going to try and keep it as briefly as I can, although I've spent 30 years doing this, so I might run a little bit over, and my apologies if I do. A MoJo, or a video journalist, is essentially a journalist who works with a small camera, and these days iPhones or smartphones are the best way to go, the way a print journalist works with a pencil and a piece of paper. That is, for television journalism, we get rid of the cameraman, the sound man, the producer, the editor, the entire crew, which is nothing but a waste of time and expense and impediment to doing good journalism. Journalism is a unique industry. Unlike science or medicine or anything else, we are the child of technology. Before the printing press was invented, there were no newspapers. Newspapers were the child of the printing press. Before Marconi invented the radio, there was no radio, and so radio was a child of that technology. Before John Logie Baird invented television in 1923, or Vladimir Zworykin in 1939, whichever you take, there was no television. So in our industry, the industry of journalism, the technology comes first, and the industry, or the way the industry is done, comes second. When television first arose in the 1940s and 1950s, it was extremely complicated and extremely expensive to do. Cameras were these giant things that you took into the field. They cost $100,000 each. To get the signal out, you had to broadcast from towers that cost millions of dollars to put up. It went through the air, so the electromagnetic spectrum limited the number of channels. And in short, if you wanted to be a television journalist in those early days, you had to work for an organization like RAI, or Italian state television, or in the United States, NBC, or in Britain, the BBC. You had no choice. Today, the technology has changed radically. Today, the smartphone that you have in your pocket, and I assume you all have a smartphone, is capable of shooting broadcast quality television. It is capable of doing the edit. Any idiot can do it. It's just drag and drop. It's capable of putting in the graphics. It's capable of going live to the entire world for free. And more significantly, it is capable of producing a perfectly professional piece of journalism for no cost and no more difficulty than sitting down at a word processor or picking up a pencil and writing. This is a moment of enormous liberation and transition in the television journalism industry. Television journalism used to be controlled by a very small number of corporations whose primary interest was in profit. They limited the number of people who were allowed to make television, who were allowed to get on the screen, and as a result, the millions or billions of people who end up watching television journalism, whether it's the BBC or RAI or CNN, it doesn't make any difference. What they got was the view of a very small, tiny corporation. Smartphones, MoJo, video journalism has the potential to democratize this most powerful of media. That is, anyone who has an idea, who has a concept, who has news they want to tell, now has the ability simply to take their phone and shoot it and edit it and share it with the world and broadcast it for free. You don't need a corporation. You don't need a major industry. You don't need a broadcast signal. You don't need a network. You don't need anything. All you need is a vision and the passion and the idea, because the technology is in your pocket. This is a revolution, and it's a revolution that has not happened in the journalism business since the invention of the printing press. When Gutenberg invented the printing press, he thought he was making cheap Bibles. That was the idea. But he wasn't. He invented a machine that democratized the gathering and the spreading of ideas and information. And it revolutionized and changed the world. Smartphones are going to do the same thing. There are 3.5 billion smartphones in the world in the hands of 3.5 billion people who have an idea, just like the people who write books and publish have an idea. And now this most powerful medium of television, which has been in the hands of corporations since its inception, is finished. It is now in the hands of everyone, as you as journalists have the responsibility, you have the duty as journalists to pick up this new technology, to embrace it, to learn it, and to understand it. And needless to say, the best place to do this is at thevj.com, which you can all take a look at online and join and learn how to do this to the best of your ability. Well, that's my 5 minutes. Francesco, I hope this helped. If you have any questions, get in touch with me. If your journalists want to get in touch with me, feel free. I am always happy to spread the word, and I am delighted you offered me this opportunity. Thank you very much.